Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Federation's daily live stream. Today is MassPAC Monday, and my name is Leslie Leslie. I'm the project director for the MassPAC project. Welcome to summer. Happy summer, everyone. The season has changed, and we are now 100 days past school's closing in Massachusetts, and school has ended for most school districts, and we're starting our summer vacation. So I hope you take some time to enjoy the time off and time with your family. And thank you for everyone for sticking with the Federation. It's been a very challenging year. We've appreciated your feedback, your concerns, your showing up for webinars, sending us questions. It's been a very informative time for us, and we've learned a lot. Um, it's it's been a challenge for families in Massachusetts. We've had a lot of health concerns and also a very, very quick move to remote learning, something we didn't know a lot about before, and hopefully you'll learn a lot more. We know it was challenging for families, for parents. We know it was very, very challenging for educators to have to switch midstream, for administrators, principals, superintendents, for everyone to make it all happen. And we know it's been very challenging for students. And I think it's something we can learn from. How has this time in the last 3, 4 months changed the way we see learning in Massachusetts? There are some silver linings to all of this. I think we've learned that we can persevere together. Um, I've seen a lot of examples of better communication between school districts and families starting to connect differently with their schools. That's really the definition of family engagement, is that regular two-way communication. It's not just families telling schools what they need, or schools telling families this is the way we're going to do it. It's how do we work together? How do we communicate better for better outcomes for kids? And I think we're starting to see that, and I hope that's that silver lining in all of this, is that we move that dialogue and that communication forward. We're have the opportunity, families have the opportunities to really see for the first time live what their students' program and educators were like, and what those services look like, and how they might be able to support their student in learning in the future, in homework and other sessions, and how to really continue that collaboration between school and home so that the learning is transferred into different environments, which is really the key of all education, is taking what students have learned, those skills, and adapting them and moving them into the community so that they, have that post-secondary outcome that the student's vision's all about. And I think the other thing we've seen, and as part of this whole wonderful experiment, is that families have found different communities of support, different resource places, and have had the opportunity to check in and to connect with new people. And I think that's really great. I think that's something to build on as we go forward. As we move into what's going to happen in the fall, I think that's where I'd love to see more collaboration between families, educators, administrators, people who are involved in the decision making work together. How are we going to frame school reopening in the fall so that it meets the needs of our families and our students? How do we make sure that all voices are heard? We need to look for diversity in decision making. That's what makes a rich conversation. That's what makes an inclusive solution. And so I think CPACs especially should start to look within their communities and see who's not represented on your board, in your membership, and start to reach out to those communities. You might need a cultural broker to reach some of the non-English speaking families, but this is something that we should be starting to work for and plan for, and especially as these groups start to get together and plan for school reopening, how do we make sure that all of the voices are heard and everyone is represented at the table? I even think CPACs have to start to think of how you're going to operate in the fall that's different, and what have we learned from this spring. I've heard from CPACs that when they've done a Zoom meeting, they've had wonderful attendance. So more people are showing up. And it's probably because it's very convenient and you don't need childcare, and it just might meet families' needs differently. So maybe we need to work with our Division of Open Government here in Massachusetts and make sure that remote meetings can still be a possibility for these public bodies so that families have options to participate. And I think we need to look at all the things we've learned to understand how we're going to operate better in the fall. And as I look to the fall, something I mentioned last week, and I've started, and it's going forward. We're going to have CPAC Summer School, and it's going to be a 10-week session. I'm going to schedule it right now for Tuesday evenings from 7 to 8 p.m. And I'm going to schedule it as a learn and listen type of opportunity. For the first 30 minutes, there'll be a learning opportunity. And after that, it'll be time to listen to some of your questions, your concerns, and have some dialogue about the issue that is being presented that evening. I'm looking at some of the topics, especially for new CPAC officers, some of the resources that you might access, the toolkits, the Facebook regional pages, how can you get support and learn about your new role, or if you're or in an officer, how can you maybe mentor somebody who is new to all of this CPAC stuff, because it's the best volunteer job you've ever had. How do you promote your CPAC? What are the public relations kind of tips and tools? And how do you manage a Facebook page? And how do you make that work for your CPAC in terms of getting the information out? That's another topic I think I have a lot of questions on, and we can make that an evening of learning. And I think another topic that we've been talking about is how do you run a meeting? What's your role to have an efficient meeting, to have an agenda, to follow that agenda, to make sure that you're hearing the questions and the voices and the concerns that are coming up, and you document those properly and keep some minutes, keep some records. So those are just some of the topics I've been thinking about. These sessions, the CPAC Summer School, will start on Tuesday, July 7th. That gives me a couple days to start planning this at 7 p.m. We will have a registration process. So once you register for the series at any time, you will be registered for the whole series, and it will run right to the Tuesday right after Labor Day as a follow-up, catch-up, closeout of CPAC Summer School. So the first half hour of the learning will be recorded, and those will be available to those who cannot attend. So you need to pre-register. It'll be happening. I'm really looking forward to it. It's an opportunity for us to share some best practices around CPACs, to find out what's missing in terms of what do people need to know, and a way for us to kind of reflect and learn from this spring, all of the challenges for CPACs, and how can we improve this community so that it can serve all families. And I think that's really what we've learned at the Federation this spring is, how can we better serve you? And Facebook Live is one session that we've introduced so that we can stay connected on a daily basis and respond to some of your concerns and needs. So I'm looking forward to CPAC Summer School, and hope you can join us. If you have any questions or we're going to post the link when it becomes available under this recording of this MassPAC Monday session, but you can always send an email to masspac@fcsn.org, and we can send you out that link to the CPAC Summer School, and it'll also be on the MassPAC page of the Federation's website. So there's lots of places to find out about it, and I'll probably talk about it again next Monday. So have a great week, happy summer, and I hope you stay tuned to the rest of the sessions this week, 2 p.m. Facebook Live with the Federation. Thank you very much. Have a great day.